There are so many great features in iOS 27. Siri AI is incredibly powerful, Messages got a ton of upgrades, but what are the biggest quality of life improvements when you upgrade to iOS 27? Well, I'm going to share the top 13 features that completely changed how I use my iPhone. Certain apps lost their place on the home screen. New widgets have put powerful shortcuts at my fingertips. And there's so many small details that actually make a huge difference day to day. Here's how iOS 27 changed how I use my iPhone. Number one, a nice update to widgets in iOS 27 is the larger full screen widget. You can actually extend the shortcuts widget so it's super tall, along with lots of other apps. I'm going to quickly jump into my filming mode, and yes, I do have different home screens depending on focus mode. If you want to learn more about that, let me know in the comments. But some of the full screen widgets you can have are the shortcuts. Apple TV has a great full screen widget. You can have a large weather forecast, calendar, an entire page of smart home controls, stocks, reminders, and even photos. Remember, you can quickly scrub through your different home screens by dragging on the little dots at the bottom. But that larger widget that I have in the today view of my most used shortcuts, plus some shortcuts that I've changed here in the action button menu, really help me be more productive on the iPhone. I'll get more into these specific shortcuts in a moment. But number two is a small quality of life improvement that makes a big difference. Anytime you have something on your clipboard, it could be a link or a large piece of text, when you have that on your clipboard and you go to write a text message or even a note, having that autofill whatever's on your clipboard, being able to quickly tap that and paste it, way better than trying to tap, get the contextual menu appear, and to then have paste. It's so nice just to be able to click a field and then have it paste. Now, when you start writing, sometimes that quick paste goes away. Other times I've seen it come back. And we're still in the public beta period, so if anyone at Apple's watching, anytime I stop typing, I would love to have that paste whatever's on my clipboard still available above the keyboard. Number three, I've been using the Notify Me feature in Safari a ton. For instance, this product, which is my favorite HomeKit smart button, USB-C, rechargeable, uses Thread. It was out of stock for a long time. It's back in stock, but several weeks delayed. And the reason I knew it was back in stock is because I used that Notify Me feature. Here you can prompt it to do something like, let me know when this product drops in price. And the best part, this Notify Me feature was recently updated in the latest betas, where you can have this check daily, but also hourly. So if there's something like concert tickets that go on sale or something that changes stock very quickly, you can have this check hourly at the 46-minute mark of every hour, and then you'll get that notification that something has changed on this webpage. This Safari Notify Me feature is how I saw this product was back in stock. And by the way, I'll put an affiliate link to these HomeKit buttons down in the description because they really are my favorite, and I'm gonna order another pack. And now the next few all have to do with Siri AI. I do have to say, Siri has taken the place of Claude here on my iPhone home screen because I keep going back to conversations that I wanna follow up on, and I've been asking it for general knowledge questions a lot. The topic of David Bowie recently came up, and I just started asking it general knowledge questions like how old was he when he passed, what were some movies he was in, best known songs. And honestly, I love the answers that I get from Siri AI because they're brief, they're the exact information that I want, and I don't have to go to a specific app. I can just hold the side button, ask my question, and then all those conversations are saved right here. One of the most useful features for Siri AI that I have found is when there's multiple dates or events of something, it could be on a physical piece of paper, it could be in Safari, anything on your screen, Siri AI is incredibly good at parsing those events and adding them to your calendar. So if I see something like this, I'll take a screenshot, wait just a few moments, and then you'll see the Add to Calendar button, and it's going to be smart enough to pull those multiple events. And just like that, it's going to put this on Wednesday, which is what it saw in the screenshot. It titles each event correctly, puts in the proper time, and even saw that this was a repeating event. And I can add all the events instantly and even choose what calendar I want to put them on. So good. I've even found myself just using my iPhone to take a picture of something that might be on my Mac screen to add those multiple events quickly, right here. But some of the most wild discoveries have to do with Siri AI and Apple Maps with directions. But before we get to that, if you're looking for powerful MagSafe batteries or ones that are super thin, today's sponsor has you covered, Baseus. If you've been waiting for a MagSafe battery that is super thin, light, but also powerful and stays cool, the wait is over. This is the Baseus PicoGo Air magnetic power bank, and not only does it match perfectly with my iPhone 17 Pro Max, but also pairs great with iPhone Air. The Air is super slim and portable at only 0.27 inches, has a triple loop cooling system for peak performance, and an AI adaptive cooling chip. Plus it will input at 20 watts for fast charging, and you can use the included USB-C cable right here, which is the perfect length, and that will give you 22.5 watt charging wired from this battery. Simply attach it to recharge anytime, and it is slim and light enough to fit into a pocket, small bag, and being so thin it doesn't add a ton of bulk to your iPhone. Charge while on the go, taking photos. There's also an NFC chip built into the battery. Just tap your iPhone and it will register right here. It'll recognize the Air power bank, and you'll see all the battery details right here on your phone. And if you need more power and even faster charging, that's where the PicoGo AM52 comes in. With Qi 2.2 25-watt charging, you get fast wireless and up to 45-watt wired charging with this power bank. It'll charge an iPhone 17 Pro from 0 to 50% in just 30 minutes. And you can plug in the cable that's built right in, and it'll get a 17 Pro Max to 65% in 30 minutes. Plus, you can charge 3 devices at once. I'll charge my 17 Pro Max wirelessly, I'll plug in the iPhone Air, so now that's charging too, and I can plug another cable into the bottom of the power bank, and now my AirPods and 2 iPhones are all charging off the one power bank. It's globally certified with the latest Qi 2.2 standard, and you get cooler, safer charging every time. And all the Baseus batteries charge quickly without causing noticeable overheating. So whether you're on the go and want the thinnest MagSafe batteries possible, or you need that power when you're traveling, Baseus has you covered. Scan this QR code and you can save right now on the PicoGo line, or check the link down in the video description. That's the PicoGo AM52 with built-in cable and the PicoGo Air. So scan here, link below in the description, and my thanks to Baseus for sponsoring this video. So I had no idea how useful Siri AI is in the car with Apple Maps. For instance, let's say I was already in turn-by-turn directions and I wanted to add a stop. I could say something like, add a stop for Starbucks on the way. And just like that, it added the Starbucks stop. There it is, right before my mom's house. And it can do way more than that. Let's say I'm on a long road trip to like Atlanta, Georgia. Find multiple food options in Ocala along my route. So I have multiple food options there. I can just tap one and it'll add it as a stop. I can also say, in about 3 hours, I need to find a place to stop with multiple options for eating. And because it knows the current turn-by-turn directions, it's saying here's places that you can stop in a few hours. And because it has access to Find My and the people that I share location with, I can ask it things like, give me directions to my wife's location. And it'll start turn-by-turn directions to her location in Find My. Even has a nice little profile photo and labels it as such. And finally, you can just ask it to start a multi-trip stop. Give me directions to Disney World in Orlando, but a stop for coffee and Chipotle on the way.
Which coffee shop would you like to stop at? Which Chipotle would you like to stop at?
And now it started directions, and if I check the stops, I have both the Dunkin' and the Chipotle on my way to Walt Disney World. But Siri AI is incredibly powerful. Anytime recently where I've had a hotel booking or a flight, I will just ask Siri AI about my travel plans. Like, what's my confirmation for the Westin in Clearwater? I've found Siri AI to be super fast. This came up just in seconds, and I even did a comparison of Siri AI versus Gemini on Android. You can scan this QR code if you want to watch that comparison. Siri AI also surfaces this information during phone calls, which was incredibly helpful when I was asking about my reservation. And I find myself asking Siri AI questions like, what was the last link I sent to my dad? Super fast, super useful, but that on-screen awareness has been especially key. For instance, anytime I've needed to be reminded of something like an email, a text message, I used to have shortcuts for these things, but I've been using Siri AI because it's fast and it's super easy. I really need to remember to respond to my friend here, so I'll just say something like, remind me about this Saturday at 2 p.m. So not only did it create the reminder at the time, it pulled the on-screen context to who this conversation is with, but it also added context from the actual message on screen. So I can remember what the conversation is about. It can also do this for emails or even photos. Remind me about this email tomorrow at 11 a.m. So it takes the on-screen context and titles the reminder appropriately, actually has a little subtitle with what was on screen and a message back to the email. And when I ask about text messages, many times it will link the text message in the reminder as well. It's also easy to use Siri AI to just send something like a link or image to someone. Let's say I want to text the latest wallpapers from Basic Apple Guy to someone. I could say, send this to Asher Robles. And after a few seconds, it just populates that text message, includes the link, and I can send it right here. I don't even have to go to the Messages app. This even works sending it to group text messages. So I can say something like, send this to our fam. And even while Siri thinks in the background, I can go home, do something else, and that message is ready to send, and I can just tap it there, or I could just tell Siri to send it. And remember, Siri AI goes back really far, especially if you have text messages that are saved forever. So maybe I'm doing a to-go order for a restaurant, and I want to remember, what does my mom like to order from Mission Barbecue? Wild that Siri was able to pull that up from the text messages, and you can even see it matches items included in your orders, and you can see it pull that information from my email when I did a to-go order, and my mom's name was in that email when I named her meal. Let me try one more like that, because that's wild. What does Elise like like to order from Chipotle. Come on, that is wild. And if I expand that, you can see it's referring back to different Chipotle orders that were in my email. All right, another small quality of life improvement. If you accidentally hit that little microphone icon in the Message Compose window, iOS 27 finally lets you turn that off or change its function. I'll just search for Messages settings here, go to the App settings, go down to the Show in Text field. That's actually what controls that icon, and you can choose to record an audio voice memo, which I never do, start dictation, which is a duplicate function, or just tap none. That's what I have mine set for. This way I never have to accidentally tap something in that Compose window. Next, there have been a ton of upgrades to Apple Home, especially things like notifications, but one of my most used new features is searching through video recordings in Apple Home. So if I filter to my front door camera, I love being able to search here. I can search for something like cars, and we'll pull up all the video clips that have to do with cars, even with a little description. And this is Apple Intelligence trying to describe whatever the video is of. So you can see a van pulled out, someone unplugged a charging cable from a car, oddly specific. But overall, I love this search feature. You can even search for things like UPS or FedEx, and if it was on the side of the truck and the camera caught it, it will pull it up. I also love being able to filter specifically for packages. You could just tap that filter here, and rather than noteworthy, I'll go to packages and deliveries, and then I can quickly see who is delivering it. Obviously that's a UPS, shows me the day and time. I absolutely love that filter, and will often go back to see if something was actually delivered. Next, I've really been enjoying system-wide captions on videos. So if you open a video, even something that's just saved to the Photos app, your iPhone will automatically caption what's being said, and you can have it only appear when your phone is muted. So if I actually turn the volume up a little bit on my phone, finger click or control, you'll actually see the captions disappear because it understands that I'm actually listening to it now. I can also tap the little caption icon there, turn them on or off manually, and even change the style of these captions. If you want to enable this, you're going to go to the settings, go down to accessibility, and then scroll down until you see subtitles and captioning. And here, this is the toggle that I turned on, show and muted. That's automatically going to turn on subtitles when the volume is muted or turned all the way down. But remember, even if you don't have that toggle on, you can always tap the little caption icon there, at least here in Photos, and turn them on or off manually. And lastly, before we get to shortcuts, I've been loving the custom wallet pass feature. So if you go to the wallet app, you can now make a custom pass from any kind of loyalty program or any card that really has a QR code. You'll go down to create a pass. You can create a pass manually, scan a QR code, add the information, or you can use the camera and Apple Intelligence to just parse all the information automatically. And that's what I did to create my Planet Fitness pass. Typically, I would have had to gone into the Planet Fitness app, which I don't really want on my home screen, but now I can have this pass in my wallet and then even create a shortcut that surfaces this pass when I'm at that location. And speaking of shortcuts, let me talk about some of the shortcuts that have changed my behavior since iOS 27. First of all, in this Today view, I have the large widget. I have a bunch of shortcuts for things like sharing the latest episode of my podcast. For instance, Top 5 Tech, that's where I feature 5 things every week to watch, listen to, download, and something deep. Scan this QR code and you can listen or watch Top 5 Tech in Apple Podcasts. And that shortcut gets the latest episode URL from Apple Podcasts and Spotify, puts a little title on it, and then I can add some text and share it on social media. I have a shortcut like that for Mac Power users, Primary Tech, and Top 5 Tech. I also created this shortcut, which lets me choose my latest YouTube video. It actually shows me the last few. This is via the secret RSS feeds that you can use for YouTube channels. It'll put the link to the latest video on my clipboard and then brings me to the Files app, specifically my folder of thumbnails, because I like to save the image when I share it on social media, so I can save it and then create a post with that image to share. These are shortcuts for things like recording videos, runs my HomeKit scenes. Yes, we have a snake and feeding it is very irregular, so I'm using the new storage actions, and I can either log that we fed the snake or just find out when was the last time we gave it something to eat. And this is pulling a list in quick view from the built-in storage action. Also have new shortcuts that help me post to my shortcuts community. That's where I share shortcuts of the week. I also share ad-free versions of my videos. All of that's for members, and you can join. Right now I'm doing a deal during the iOS 27 beta season. Become a member by scanning this QR code and tune into my weekly live streams, where I even gave out a test flight link just for members to my new productivity app that's coming out very soon. But you can try it right now for free if you become a member by scanning right here. But the iOS 27 shortcuts actions really come in handy in some of my shortcuts that I put in the action button. And these 3 shortcuts specifically, I've found the most useful. If you want a shortcut that quickly takes a voice memo, summarizes it, and takes an Apple Note, that's what this is for. If I run it, These are some ideas for videos, things like different Mac tips, iPhone tips, maybe want to do an iPad walkthrough or a getting started with iPad. These are all videos that I want to work on pretty soon. You can record that quick voice memo. Apple Intelligence is going to summarize it, create a note for a title, and in just a few seconds, it's going to have that Apple Note attached with the voice memo and the transcription, but a nice little summary right there. So if you want voice memos completely built into iOS, they use Apple Intelligence, which is really good in iOS 27 using that iCloud Pro model. That's my quick voice memo shortcut. Link to download that is in the description. I use the My Social Link shortcut all the time. This is a list view with all my social URLs, even things to like my shortcuts video playlist. If I select one, it's just going to put it on my clipboard. And then if I go to a text message or I want to post it on social media, I'll use that automatic clipboard pasting feature and boom, I have that link there. Or if I want to share multiple platforms, like let's say I'm talking to a sponsor, maybe I want to send them my YouTube, Instagram, and TikTok accounts. Well, if I select multiple links in that list and I tap paste, it's actually going to put the platform name and then the link underneath it. That shortcut has been incredibly useful. And one of my most popular shortcuts, just from the downloads that I see every time, is my Clipboard Manager. It's hard to have a stock Clipboard Manager on the iPhone because of the sandboxing, and that's why I created this shortcut. It uses the iOS 27 storage actions, so whatever's on my clipboard, I can save it, and then if I want to retrieve any of my past clippings, I'll run the same shortcut again, choose Retrieve Clipboard, and now all the things that I've copy and pasted recently, I can put it back on my clipboard. Like maybe I do want to meet at El Puerto at lunch again today at noon. Well, I can tap that, it's now on my clipboard, and if I use that quick paste feature, boom, it's right there. Maybe I want to copy multiple items that are in this list, I can tap Copy, do the Action button, save that clipping, tap Save, let me save one more, copy, save it again, and now anywhere on my iPhone, I can run it, hit Retrieve, and everything that I've added to that clipboard is available. Maybe I want to get those social media accounts again. Well, I can tap that. This time, let's do a social media post. Tap the quick paste right here above the keyboard, and boom. That Clipboard Manager is incredibly useful. And again, link to download that shortcut, the quick voice memo, and the social link one if you want to customize that for yourself, all down in the video description. And if you want to learn more about shortcuts and tune into my weekly live streams where I show how to build these shortcuts from scratch, troubleshoot one, and even build them live from your requests, you can get half off my Shortcuts community membership for a limited time right here by scanning this QR code. Or you could just join for free and join 5,000 other people sharing shortcuts they've built, asking for shortcuts help, and I'm in there actively trying to help build as many as I can. And if you want to see that comparison with Siri AI versus Gemini, I'll put that video right up here. And Siri AI is just capable of so many things, recognizing on-screen content, pulling dates and times. If you want to see what Siri AI is really capable of, check out my video on that right up here. Oh, and while you're here, don't forget to subscribe and hit that like button. Tons of videos coming out, especially as we approach iPhone 18 and iOS 27 public launch season. And I'm going to be doing full reviews of iOS 27, macOS 27, and more. So get subscribed, hit that like button. Let me know what you would like to see down in the comments, and thank you for watching. I'll catch you next time.